Hello, this is Sam with Awesome Gardens. I was just going to show you a quick update of what we're doing on the farm. I really haven't done a video in a couple of years now, so I'm trying to get back in the routine of things. And I'm just going to show you some of the hard work we've been doing out here at the future permaculture farm. So check it out. This land here was full of trees and brush. We piled up a lot of brush over here from trees and tree limbs. We still have a lot of ground that's got a lot of debris, a lot of roots in it. But as you can see, we've cleared out most of the big trees. Some of these spots in here where you see cardboard and compost are some trees we've planted before and have lived, and we've composted around them. We're also going to come back with a wood chipper and chip these up and put the wood chips on top, which has worked quite well. This is what a tree will do if you cut it down. You can see here I cut this tree down several years ago in these places, and they just grew back. And that's what we were trying to avoid right now. We're trying to avoid the overgrowth. So we've cut all that back. You can still see some tree roots here sticking up. I'll come back with a chainsaw and cut those off, and now we have a stump grinder. So now we're going to grind these stumps down. I might do a future video on that. My main purpose is just to show you a little bit of what we're doing here, how we've done a lot of clearing. You can see our edge of our field there. We've cleared all this right here. We still have some bigger trees to knock down. You can see how much clearer this is. Another fruit tree. We just happened to get a good deal on a Craftsman tiller. The only reason I'm using a tiller is to break this stuff up, all these vines and everything. If you see the ground right here, you can see all these vines just everywhere. And I got a pretty good deal on a Craftsman tiller, and this is what it looks like when we're done. So that's a pretty good little chunk of ground it's tearing up. We're still experiencing some problems with the vines wrapping around the tiller, but it is going pretty decent for what we paid for the tiller. Back here, I have the beginnings of a greenhouse, and I'll show you hopefully an update video on the greenhouse. This is what we've been doing with all the wood so far. So far, I haven't been too technical on what we've been doing with the tree trunks when we cut them down. All the branches and limbs and things like that, we're making a big pile, like a big pile there. And all the tree trunks we've just been stacking up, and I'll probably use that in a wood burning stove later. I'll probably try to build one or buy one. But for now, it's just kind of sitting there, and I've got a lot to work with. I want to show you a quick intro to what I'm going to do with my greenhouse. This right here will be the entrance of it. I'm going to cut this board off, put another support post right here to support that corner, and then I'll be able to walk right in here. Now once I'm in the greenhouse, you see this is about shoulder high, and I got compost in here. And look how good and moist and light and fluffy that is. That is where I will start all my seedlings, right here in rows going back. Start rows of seedlings in all these beds here. Some I need to fill in still. There's that light and fluffy compost everywhere. So the idea is to start my seedlings up high. I'm going to have shelves built down here at the base below where I start my seedlings and put my potted plants. And the idea being able to raise several thousand plants at once in 4-inch pots or even small cup containers. on those shelves. And so that's the beginnings of my greenhouse. I built this thing really cheap out of just 4x4s and 2x4s with holes in the ground. Also some PVC that's just kind of thrown together. Some wire holding the PVC together. I'll show you that. There's some wire holding the PVC together. Just drilled holes in the PVC, glued it, tightened it all together. Got some loose wire hanging everywhere for future purposes. To heat the greenhouse, all I'm going to do is run a little electric heater. I might need 2 electric heaters, but for now I'm just going to use one, see how that works. Just try to keep it about somewhere between 75 and 80 degrees is what I found works pretty well for seeds. Directly away from the greenhouse, I have this huge compost pile. This is compost that we've bought. We bought this compost from Texarkana. The water company there does composting, which is really great. We get a half yard for $5, which is really hard to beat. We take trips and we get 5 scoops at a time, so we get 2.5 yards per trip. We put some in our truck and then also a little trailer right over there. So everything's kind of a mess right now. We're cleaning up a lot. We got buckets sitting everywhere. We've got some equipment sitting out, and I'm locking it up every day. And always take good care of your equipment. I'm lucky I have a small engine repair guy right down the road who does repairs for my equipment. But as you can see here, I can pot up my pots real close to my greenhouse. We found this convenient to unload right here since it's real close to our path in and out. Right around this road here, we get out. Here's my scooter I'm driving. There's my house, my little trailer house, and my shed I'm going to work with. Here are some trees we are going to plant this year. As I may have said in earlier episodes, I plan on starting a nursery here as well. And look at what we have here. We put some black plastic down. And that black plastic is what I'm going to put all my plants on as I start them. Be easy to water right here with the water hose. Comes from a well. So once I get this nice and cleaned up, should be pretty nice and easy. People drive in, they can stop and look at everything. It's possible in the future I might put up some black netting, just if it gets too hot during the summer. But for now, this looks really nice. What kind of trees, you may ask? Well, I've got everything from peaches to pears. Right now, mostly peaches, pears, and apples. I'd also like to get a lot of plum trees. So this extends a pretty good little ways. And that will be my nursery area. Here I've got several buckets full of compost ready to put trees in. Got another little workstation over here. I need to do something with this tin. We just kind of pulled it out of the ground. So I've got a lot of materials to work with. And right now I have a lot of time. So that's really good. Get you a good wheelbarrow. That's helpful. This is a really good wheelbarrow I got from a store down the road. Made out of mostly metal. Alright, now for the really cool part of this video. I want to show you what I've been doing lately. This is a compost pile. Look at that. Now I built this myself. I just started turning it. That's the stuff I've been taking out of there. But I just wanted to show you how nice and warm this stuff is. Once you get down in here, this has started to really heat up. You can see some steam coming off there. It's not really a cold day, so you probably can't see this as well as I'd like, but this steam is just ridiculous coming out of here. Maybe you saw that. That's pretty good. But that there is a real compost pile. Now this compost pile was as tall as me the last time I turned it. And now it's shrunk down about waist height, just a little bit above my waist. So that's how it's breaking down. First time I made this pile, it didn't break down too well. I turned it once, covered it with plastic, and now it's really starting to heat up. So it's taking it just a little while. What did I build this pile out of, you might ask? I built this pile out of horse manure that we got from a friend's barn. So we loaded up horse manure in buckets. Those are all the empty buckets of horse manure. So that's how many buckets of horse manure I had. Probably 50 buckets of horse manure. Then I also had some cut grass. I just used cut grass, some leaves I had sitting around. This is a pile of leaves I had just sitting here. And this did not compost too well over the winter or over the whole year. Look how dry it is. See, it's just dry everywhere in there. So I used quite a bit of those dry leaves I had. Also used layers of the cut grass and then horse manure, and now it is breaking down like crazy. You also have to keep your pile wet, and what I've been doing to keep it wet, I've actually been using buckets out of a hole we have in the ground, just from rainwater pretty much. And man, let me tell you, that is working great. Just look at the size of this compost pile, and that's what I've turned out of it so far. And let me tell you, when you reach your hand down in here, you can really feel the heat just pouring out of this thing. That is the way to make a compost pile, my friends. Now, what am I going to use this for? I'm going to use this for making compost tea. Also, the areas where I've moved it, I had the pile sitting here, and it's pretty rich itself. And I left a little bit of debris accidentally, and it's just going to get mixed in the soil. I'm just going to come back with a tiller and till it in. And as soon as I move this from here to here, I'm going to come back with a tiller and till underneath that. And when I move this from here to here and over, I'm going to till under there. And I'm just going to have a huge garden spot that's just going to be rich as can be, because all this compost is sitting on top and just seeping down. So I'm going to have me a little garden going from here on back. And this little area here, kind of a nice little area. So we got a lot going on. Just wanted to show you this compost pile and some of the work we've been doing. I am still out here working. My brother's a big help. He doesn't really like to be on video much, but he has done a lot of this work. We've also had a friend of ours named Miles helping. Shout out to Miles. You've done a good job, Miles. Hope to have you out here working some more. But thanks to everyone who's tuned in. I hope to make many more videos and show you the progress, and would love to have some visitors one day. I hope to be at that point. But thanks a lot, YouTubers. Y'all have a good evening.